So Jason Druso again. I support the restaurants and banquets for the company. Today I'm going to focus a little bit more on the restaurants and how they were impacted during COVID. I think we all know that we had to shut down our dining rooms. So we had to figure out how are we going to serve our guests. It was a scary time, definitely for the hotels, and I couldn't even imagine being an independent restaurateur where you didn't have hotel rooms attached to it. So some of the things we looked at, I'm going to touch on 5 things. The first 4 are going to be very familiar. One of the things we had to do with no dining room, we had to look at curbside pickup and delivery. None of our restaurants, well, there's a few, but most of our restaurants did not have, we weren't focused on takeout or delivery. We focused on more on running our dining rooms. We didn't have visibility to our guests to be able to access our menus, place an order, have that order go to the kitchen without somebody picking up the phone and taking that order. So we partnered with a company called Chow Now, which has their own app, and they also can attach a widget to your website. And that's how we connected with our guests, and we're able to generate a new revenue stream. Now that we're rolling out of COVID and there's a lot of demand for our restaurants, we're going to continue it. It's working for us, and we figured out how to take care of our guests in the dining room and also be able to generate a new revenue stream. So that was a good win. Second one, we're all familiar with third-party delivery. Again, I'm not sure if everybody knows, but a lot of these third-party delivery companies take 20 to 30% off the top. That's what they charge you. So it's really not that profitable unless it's incremental revenue. So what that means, you're not going to add another manager to do a delivery. You're not going to add more servers or more cooks to do delivery. So we only did that at a few properties where it made sense. But during COVID, again, we have to figure out how to serve people outside of the property. So we rolled out a program throughout the company with DoorDash and partnered with Favor and Postmates. We're able to negotiate deals that made a little bit more sense. And we're continuing those today as well. The third one is contactless payment. I think we've all gone, to kiosks at the airport and other quick service concepts where we've been able to put our order in and then pay for it right there. The one that I really liked that worked for us was pay at the table. We don't use it in our higher end restaurants, but right now we're doing it in some of our more casual and quick service concepts. We have a concept called Zombie Taco. It's in Austin, Texas. And basically you can go in there, you click the QR code, menu pops up, you place your order, you pay for it, goes to the kitchen, and then they text you and your food's ready, and then you go pick it up. So it's worked really well for us, and we'll continue to use that. And as technology advances and it becomes more familiar to some guests, who knows, it may make its way into different restaurants for us. The other one, tech at the table, is what I call it, and that's the QR codes that we see everywhere. I never would have thought of putting a QR code at a table before COVID, but that was the way that we had to operate to go contactless at a table and still give people an experience in our dining rooms. Now that we're out of COVID, some people want to go back to the old way. So what we do is we give people the option of the QR code or a paper menu. One of the things the QR code does for restaurateurs, I'm not sure if people understand how much menus cost. It could cost anywhere from $500 to $3,000 a month. With low margins, that's money that the owner could be putting in their pocket. So you're probably going to see that continue now that guests are okay using a QR code and understand and are familiar with it. I think a lot of these restaurants will continue it. We're operating, doing both. I like the old school paper menus. I'm all about the experience. But we also want to give people the opportunity to go contactless if they want to. The last one is automation. So Steve talked about it, the labor crunch that we hear about in every sector of the economy. It's really hurting us. We're having to come up with new ways to recruit and retain employees and be creative, but inevitably it's going to lead to automation or an acceleration of automation in the restaurant business. I hear that you have robot delivery things rolling around the campus. Yep. I saw one in Austin a few weeks ago, and obviously that's coming very quickly. Another thing I saw recently, which really amazed me, is there's actually a robot broiler cook that can sense the heat in a steak, the moisture, and even the marbling of that steak, and cook a perfect temperature as good as any broiler cook in the country. And it's physically in restaurants today. Who would have thought? I can't wait to see if it's what it's hyped up to be. And then you've heard of robot dishwashers that can do the work of 8 people. And then the same thing with the robot arm fry cook that can work 8 fryers at once. And these all take people to make them function, but ultimately it's less. And I think it's just a matter of time before these things become more affordable for restaurants and hotel operators. That it's inevitable. If people don't come back to work, we're going to have to adjust. People are going to take risks that they might not have taken before, and I think things are going to accelerate. You know, what should have taken 10 to 20 years to happen is probably going to happen in 3 to 7. So now that one, on the other hand, is when we're talking about things to be cautious about. That's one of them that, you know, I don't get too excited about it, but it's a reality, and we have to think about the repercussions of what happens if we go that direction. Okay? Thanks.
Good, thank you.